Hello guys, it's actually been about 2 or 3 weeks since I came out and made a video out here, so I'm going to show you the jungle, aka the greenhouse at the moment. So we'll start in the corner. So I'm very excited. I'm getting my first grapes. There's some more in there. Look at the tomatoes, like ridiculous. They're so tall. We have loads of little cherry tomatoes coming on. I want to show you just how incredible plants or nature is at repairing itself. So this big whole tomato snapped in half, and you can see it here, and it was literally hanging on by a tiny little bit of skin, and I just stuck it back up, tied it up as well, and put it back on and just deep watered it and hoped to God it would just stick. And it has, so it's thriving. There's so many tomatoes here, more in here, so I am very much looking forward to making passadas and chutneys and pasta sauces in here. This is all gherkins, so you can see where is there? There's one there. So all these, I'm going to start pickling them soon. Down here we've got some sweet peppers, so you can see them coming down here. So in here they've been slow enough. Now I've given them, they were getting blocked by the courgettes, which is just huge here. We've got some super duper courgettes. There's another courgette over here. In here are all of my cucumbers. They're coming along. There's one in there probably ready. There's more there, so they're all growing up along this. One second, trying to get through here. I have actually loads of strawberries to come out and harvest this evening. I just have them with my breakfast. In here, this is the plant that I got, or the tomato plant that I got, called Barry's Crazy Cherry Tomato. And as you can see, it's just dense with flowers and tomatoes coming along. So they're down here. These are going to be black tomatoes apparently. So I'm really curious and looking forward to seeing what they look like. They were just raggedy tomato seeds that just grew up, and I just planted them in there, and I've tied them up because they were falling down here. But that tomato plant is just as tall. Look at my lemons coming along. So they will turn into lemons in the next few weeks. The basil is lovely and tall. It smells gorgeous. And then I just have all my little tree saplings down here. But yeah, it's really grown. The few weeks of heat that we had was a challenge to keep everything alive, but it's driven everything to grow crazy. But I want to show you out here as well. So raspberry canes, rhubarb that really needs to be harvested. My onions, so these were the onions that I let go to flower this year because I wanted to collect the seeds. So you can see back there, I'll zoom in. I have loads of onions coming along for this year, but look at these guys. Look at the amount of bumblebees. So these are supposed to be getting rarer and rarer, but they absolutely adore the onion flowers. So if you do have a couple of onions this year planted, it might be worth just leaving one or two go to seed for next year. So you can see these are all the seeds. So I'm going to let them dry out, and then I'm going to collect them, and then next year I'll be able to use them to plant. And then this is the flower. So before it turns to this, it's like this, and the bees absolutely adore it. I have some more here and just more here. So I only let, it looks like there's a load of flowers, but I think there's 3 onion plants from last year in here, and 3 from this year, and then 3 in here, because they're all different onion varieties. But absolutely fab to see so many bumblebees. Everything looks a little bit dry because we can't use our hose pipes anymore, apparently. So I'm just using the watering can, and obviously, thankfully, still have the irrigation system in here to the water butt. So my water butt did give me enough water for up until about 3 weeks ago. And I just filled it up with hose pipes since. So I'm grateful that I've been able to fill it up, but I wouldn't mind if we had, dare I say it, just even a day of heavy rain. It would just water everything. The lawn looks really unhappy. But this is where we are. The weather has been absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's the update from the greenhouse. It's just I'm coming out, picking strawberries, picking tomatoes, trying to keep everything watered and growing. And yeah, like now there's no, like, we're kind of at that stage. Next week is August. This weekend is August. So I'm not going to be planting anything. It's just a case of feeding everything, keeping it growing and keeping production. And hopefully if it stays warm, the greenhouse will still continue to give me some tomatoes and cucumbers into September and maybe even October if we're lucky. So that's the plan. Now they are so tall that by the time the tomatoes come up here, it's nearly going to be too top heavy. So once I get these tomatoes ripened and I get all the tomatoes I can possibly get off it, I may actually cut them out and put in garlic, because you can grow garlic in your greenhouse for the winter, and I would love to grow garlic. So that's all the updates, guys. As always, if you have any questions, let me just show you, where is it? Yeah, so here I bought a passion fruit. No, sorry, not a passion fruit, a pomegranate. And I just planted out some of the seeds to see if I could grow some pomegranate trees. And I have. So very happy with that. That's chamomile. I need to get that into a bigger container. Back here, actually, let me show you these. These are some, whoops, my finger. These are some pepper plants. I actually just cut up a pepper making a stir fry, and then just decided to see what would grow with the seeds. They've grown, but it's maybe slightly too late. But the thing is you can put your pepper plants inside for the winter. So I may put one or two into a nicer pot that I can then put it on the kitchen sink. And then for next year, they'll be totally ready then to start producing peppers. Probably, I'm disappointed enough with the sweet peppers. There's not a lot, but maybe the courgette and Barry's crazy tomato have been shading it too much from the sun. So I kind of clip back leaves. And that's another thing as well, because it's so packed with plants in here, you do sometimes have to come back in and cut back some of the leaves just to let better airflow through, to make sure there's no damp or mildew growing. But like this one over here, I kind of let it just, normally I take off the side shoots of the tomato plant. I just let them go totally. So you can see they're very, very bushy, and they're falling all over the place, but there'll be loads of tomatoes on it. But it's the courgette leaves, like every week I'm coming in and taking maybe 10 or 20 leaves off it, because it just blocks up the whole entranceway. It's nice and warm in here today. What is it? It is 26 degrees. But like on the hot days, it hit 53 in here. So like insane, the heat we've been having, but fabulous. Actually, sorry. So you can see my figs for this year, and then these are my figs for next year. So lots of little baby figs, and they hang on over the winter and then fatten up. I've never grown figs, and there is a little mandarin orange, or yeah, I think it's a mandarin. No, this tree is a satsuma. Apologies. It's a satsuma tree. So it didn't have as many oranges this year as last year, but that was because it wasn't overly happy in the pot it was in. So hopefully next year it'll be a lot happier. So that's all the updates. Yeah, hope you're keeping well, and please do like, subscribe, follow, and all that jazz.